Hi everybody! Welcome back. My name is Erin and today we're going to be coloring another picture. So I want to go over the book and the markers that we're going to be using before we get started. We are going to be using this cute chibi creatures coloring, and it says color over 60 adorable creatures. So I'm just going to flip through this book for a few minutes while we let some people join. And you can see as I flip through here, we'll see some of the ones that I've done in here so you can get a style for what we're going to be doing today. And this is going to be using alcohol markers. So if you are unfamiliar, then I would love to teach you something about them. So again, we're just going to flip through this for just a few minutes, let some people join. You can see this is just a really cute coloring book. Has some big spaces so you can put some patterns, do some ombre effects, just make it your own. Some people even will cover up some lines and make something different. Like if you didn't want this to be a plant or flower, you could cover these lines up and make this into something different, but that is a little bit more advanced. That is so cute. I love him. So we'll just keep flipping a few pages until we find one that we want to do. And if anybody sees one that you like and you want to, or you want me to color that one today, please let me know because I do not have a preference. This is another one that I have done in here. So this was the first one that I did. And this is number 2. And then I'll find the third one that we did the other day on here, actually. So if you didn't watch that, you can go back and watch that live. Let me find it right here. This is the one that we did the other day. So just really cute colorings with the alcohol markers. You can see how nicely they blend, especially on this one is my personal favorite, the shadows. So you can get just a little bit of a different effect that you don't get with normal markers or crayons. And if you were to try to do this with colored pencils, it would be a lot more work and a lot harder. So these alcohol markers are really nice to use. So let's find a page that we can do. He's cute. Let's see. Oh, and you know what I actually just noticed in this book? I literally just noticed this while flipping through. Do you see this side of the page? How it has these cute little like desserts? Okay, well watch this. Look, so, well that one. So desserts and dessert page. And now watch this. Okay, now it changed to like these little activities. And see, now it's activity pages. I just realized this. That makes that even better. So, okay, so there's activity pages. Okay, and now these are like plants. That is so cute. So see the plants on this side and the plants pictures. Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, so plants, and then we've got some music. So see, they're all got some type of music going on. How cute. Music. Okay, and then are there any more? Oh, yep, there's another section. So this looks like it's, I guess, like kind of mythical, like unicorns, mermaids, rainbows, you know, things that aren't real per se. How cute. I just realized that about this book. That makes it better. Okay, so let's pick a page. Oh, actually, there's one more category now that I see. This looks like different kinds of plants, like mushrooms and earthy kind of things. Cute. Okay, so let's pick a page. Let's do, let's do something, let's do this one. All right, well, we're going to do him. He's cute, and we can have these flowers. Okay, so let's start with showing you the markers that we're going to be using today. And these are the Copic sketch markers. So I'll start this is just a random one. So this is what the marker looks like. Copic sketch. So they have a brush tip on one side. And then the other end of mine have a chisel tip. But I do believe that they have some that have a fine tip on the other side. So these are the markers. We've got lots of colors. So I'll show you just a few colors before we get started. Here's a blue. This is number B04. Here's a purple. This is V05. Here's a really pretty red, R46. And we can swatch these if you'd like to. Please, if you're watching, comment. I love to talk, so please comment and say hi. I promise I talk back. So we'll just do a swatch so you can see how nicely these go on before we actually start coloring. And I'm barely pressing. And you see how pigmented that is? So pretty. And this is, let me get my pen. This is RV69 is what this is. RV69. Okay. And then this one is B04. Actually, I already have that one swatched right here, but that's okay. B04. Okay, let's do this purple is V05. V05 is this one. And this is R46. Well, I'll show you the chisel size too. So I like to personally use the brush side, but if you like the chisel side, you can. So I'll show you how that one works. It goes on really nicely. I mean, I personally like the brush side, but that went on really nice. R46. So here's just some swatches of those colors that we did really quickly. And here's some other swatches that I've done previously. So you can see how and these are obviously dried from a while ago, and they're still really pigmented. They look really pretty. They just dry so smooth. There's no lines in them. I mean, you can even see these. So these are already mostly dry. You'd want to probably let them sit for just another minute to make sure that they're fully dry, but they're not coming off on my hand. See, they're not and they're not smearing. So they're good. Okay, so now that we've done just a few swatches, let's start coloring. Okay. Does anybody want to give any suggestions of some colors for either our little guy or, honestly, I don't even know what he is. So if anybody knows what he is, please let me know. I really don't know what he is. Or, you know, if you have any suggestions for the flowers, please tell me. I just going with my heart here, so I have nothing in mind, so I'm open to any color suggestions, or if you want to know something maybe specifically, if you do use alcohol markers and you want to know how to do something with them, if I know, I'm more than happy to show you. So but I really want to show how nice these markers are, and this is just a really great way for coloring, just to relax, and when you're just sitting there and maybe it's raining outside and you've got just something on the TV in the background and you can just color, and they're just so much better and so much prettier than normal markers. So I just want to show. So I guess let's start with, I'm going to start with these leaves since they're going to, you know, be green, and we'll let maybe somebody come in and give some color suggestions for the flowers or this guy, whatever he is. And if somebody knows what he is, please let me know, because he might be a bear, a cub, maybe, I don't know, but he's cute. So let's go with the leaves. Okay, so let's start with green, and I'm actually gonna do kind of like I'm gonna do a couple of different greens. So I'm gonna pull out some different greens here, and we're going to use a few of them. We may not use all 5 of these, but probably 3. So let's pick our 3. I'm going to go a dark. I'm going to go a medium, and then I'm going to go this lighter. Okay, so let's do these. So I'm going to start with the lightest first. And what we're going to do is we're going to color the whole leaf first. And you don't want to be fast, but you don't want to be too slow. You want to work at a nice pace. And if you work at a nice pace, then it all blends really nicely together. Now, if you watched my last live, you'll see that in order to get it really smooth, we do need to have more than one layer of color, but we are going to get that because we are going to be kind of ombreing this a little bit to get just a really pretty look and effect, so that it looks just a little bit better than just a plain green leaf. We're going to get more of, again, this kind of desired result. Just a little bit more dimension and a little bit more interesting to look at. Now that I've lost my page, I should have held that. Oops. Here we are. Okay. So we've colored this leaf in fully with our lightest green. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go in with our medium green, and we're going to kind of work from the outside of the leaf, and we're going to kind of flick our way into the middle of the leaf with the medium green. And we're not going to do the whole leaf, so I'm going to just do the top section. And then I'm going to get my lightest green again. And I'm going to kind of go over that medium green with my light green and drag that to the center so that my medium green really blends into my light green. So here, I'll show you just the top that we've done just by that. So you can see already literally that's the difference in just normal coloring it just green. And then just even doing that little bit. And we're going to do a tiny bit more, not too much, but we are going to add our darkest green to that to give it just a little bit more dimension too. So now you want to keep going with your medium green section by section. And you want to go section by section because you don't want this to necessarily dry fully before you get to go over it and blend it with your light green again. So I'm only again going to go, and I am going to go down this a little bit because that's going to be kind of like a shadow from this stem. And now that's all that I'm going to go. And now I'm going to go over with my light green and just drag it out a little bit. And right here on the shadow behind the stem, you don't want to drag that all the way to the middle because the stem isn't shading the leaf all the way to the middle. So you just want to drag, drag, drag. And then you can get that medium again if you need it to make sure that it's just really blended. But you need to be careful that you're not going to make it too dark. However, we are going to go over it with the darker green. So then you can just kind of switch back and forth. Medium, light, and just blend it all together. Now, you don't want to keep going crazy and you're like, well, there's lines in it. I want to show you. Yes, it looks like there's a little bit of lines in it and it even looks a little darker than this top. However, it's still a little wet. Yes, I can. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, that might be better. Well, I think it's because you can't see this and the paper. That's why. However, well, you can't see my head and the paper, but I can try to bend down a little bit more. Anyways, but I'd rather you see the paper. Either way. Okay. Is this better though? Okay, perfect. This is better. Good, good, good. Okay. But you can still see the paper and, okay, perfect. Good, good, good. Okay. Anyways, so now what you want to do is go down to the bottom section. So you're going to kind of, now you need to pay attention to that this is kind of a skinny section right here. So you don't want to just bring your medium and color the whole section in. You want to kind of flick it just a little bit. And then get your light. There we go. And now you can see that I didn't just color the whole thing in with a medium. You still have that little bit of light that's right there. So now we're going to keep working our way down our leaf. And hi to anybody else who's in the chat. I love to talk, so please talk to me. Okay, so now I'm gonna get, and you're just gonna kind of keep going back and forth. Medium, light, dragging it to the middle. Okay, so now we've got this leaf. And that's how we're looking so far. So you can see that it's just a little bit more dimension than just normal coloring. And you're gonna get to take a little bit more time, and you get to have a little bit more creative freedom with it as well than just normal coloring markers. So while we kind of let this, actually, let's go in with our dark before we move on, because we are going to do that. So now with our dark, we're not going to drag it as far as we did our medium. We are going to just drag it a tiny bit. So you're just going to take it just like that. And again, you're going to work section by section. You're not going to go and do this down the whole thing and then go back over it. You're going to go section by section because you don't want this to dry fully before you get to go over it back with your medium. And you don't want to drag your medium all the way like you did back to the center, because then you're going to go over your light. So now we're only dragging just a tiny bit, as you can see. And let me add just a little bit to this little corner here. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So now you can see the difference in just that little bit of darker up top versus the middle and the end. So it's not a huge difference, but it is a little bit of a subtle difference that does make a difference in the final picture when you're done, I think. Now, and if you don't want to go 3 colors, you don't have to. You can stop at 2. You can, or you can just do 1. It's your picture, and you can do it however you want to do it. You can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It doesn't matter. I'm glad that you can see the dimension. Perfect. So I'm really glad that that shows up on the camera. So now we're going to keep going with our darkest green and just keep adding the tiniest bit more. And then you can really see once the whole leaf is done, it really just pops and looks so good. So I'm just going to kind of stop there. I'm just going to do that one side because, again, you don't want to flick down the whole thing and then go over it because you don't want your dark to dry all the way before you get to go over it with your medium. And then keep going down the other side. Just little flicks. Just little flicks. Is the camera still okay? And then again, I'm actually going to go right next to this little stem a little bit too with my darkest. Perfect. And right up next to that stem where we just did. Okay, so now I'll show you this. So now I just did the darkest along the outside of this middle. And you can see the difference in the first two and the bottom. So this was only 2 colors down here, and this is adding that 3rd color for the dimension. So now we'll keep going, and we're almost done with that little leaf for now. We may come back to him, just depending on what we want to do. So, little flicks along the outside. Again, section by section. We're not doing the whole thing and outlining the whole thing at one time. And we're also not dragging this middle all the way to the end of the lines because we want space for where our lightest is and goes. So again, I'm going to keep going right next to that stem and right next to where his little paw is. Going over it with my medium green to blend it out. Again, I'm not dragging it all the way to the other side because I want some of that light green still showing. So this is what we've got right now, right there. We're gonna do that, but we've got that right now, and we're gonna blend it. And we're gonna let it, well, I say we're going to blend it. We're going to let it dry, and then we're going to see if it needs any more blending. So, last little part right here, and then we'll move on to, if anybody has any suggestions for a flower color, I would love to hear it. Either this flower, either this flower or this flower. Any color suggestions? And I'm going to go right up next to his little paw. And right next to that stem again. Thank you. I can't wait to see the finished product either. I think this is so fun and relaxing. And these alcohol markers are just, in my opinion, they're so easy to use. And I'm just going to blend that just a little bit as I see, just a tiny bit. Okay, so here's our first leaf done for now. First leaf done for now. So you can see it's just adds, look how much that pops off the page already. It's so pretty. That was so easy. So quick. So let's keep going. Does anybody have pink? Okay, perfect. Pink. Okay. So let's do, let's do like, what about like a pink and like a light purple? Like a, how about like a purpley into a, let's, you know what we can do? We can swatch them to see what colors we want. This might already be R43 is this one. RV10 is this one. E93. I don't have that one on here, so let's do that one. That's not really, that's kind of an orangey pink, but it might work. Let's see. So that's E93. This is R01. That's also a little bit of an orangey pink, but those actually go really well together. So those might actually work. And I just want to show you that it is good to have a swatch paper like this because yes, that is pretty close to the color, but it looks a little different on the paper. And you can see just a little bit how better these two go together on paper versus just by looking at them like this. So if you have a swatch paper like this, it helps you see the colors on paper better together. Because I'll be honest, don't think that if I was just looking at these markers, I would have put these two together. But on the paper, they actually match really well. So I think I'm going to go with those two. And let's see if this one goes with them. Yeah, I think that's actually really pretty. Okay, so this is RV10. RV10. Okay, so these are our three colors that we're going to use for our first flower right here. These are our first colors that we're going to use for our first flower. Okay, so we're going to start with E9. No, let's start with RV10. I went through all of them. Okay, so we're going to go, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to color each one kind of one by one. And if you color out of the lines, it doesn't matter. It's your picture. You can do what you want. You can color out of the lines. You can color in the lines. You can scribble all over the page. This is your picture. So I'm going to color them in one by one with this. This is the RV10. So our first layer of pink on this flower is what that looks like. If you want to leave it like that, you can. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually show you what 2 layers of the same marker looks like before we add some dimension to this. So again, I'm going to go just one by one over each one again. And we're just going to layer this same colored RV10 over this pink so that you can see how it looks when it's layered in here. Let me see if you can see it. Maybe so you can see. So you can see it's subtle, but there is a difference in 1 layer versus 2 layers. And this isn't a race. You're not trying to just color really fast with these. You want to take your time. You want to color in the same direction. And so now that's 2 layers of that pink on there. So that pink, 2 layers, RV10. And now we're going to go in with some dimension. So I'm going to go in with this R01. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it from, instead of going from the tips, I'm going to go from the center. So I'm just going to take this and flick it from the center of each little you're just going to flick, flick, flick from the center of the petals. Okay, so that's what we've got with just this added to it, and just the centers just flick, flick, flicked. So now what I can do, even to blend that a little bit more, is I can take my RV10 and go right back over. Flick, flick, flick. So we're going to just blend, blend, blend just a little bit more. So we're just going to blend those two colors together by going back over it with our lightest pink. So you can see how that just drug the color out just a little bit more and made it just a little bit seamless in the blend. Okay, so now we're going to go in with our E9-3 from the base. And kind of like we did the leaf, we're just going to go little flick. And I'm not going to do every petal this time. I'm going to go section by section so that I have a little bit more time to work and blend, because I want to go through all 3 colors this time instead of just the 2. So now back to my lightest, and I'm just going to go over all of it. Just drag it to the end. So by the time it gets to the end of that leaf, it's just all drug and blended. So I did just those couple right there. So now we're going to go back with our E9-3. And just little flicks. Little flick, 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 flick. And all right. Back with our medium, R01. Just a little bit longer flicks. Just a little bit longer flicks. And now back to our lightest pink. And drag it all the way through the end of the petal. Okay, so that's what we've got so far in that center. So you can tell the difference from the center to these outside petals that only had 2 colors. See, 3 colors, 2 colors. So now I'm going to take my E9-3 and go on these outside petals with my just little flicks. Just flick, flick, flick. I'm going to follow that petal like a shadow. I'm going to follow that petal like a shadow. I'm going to do that one like a shadow. Okay, so now medium and just a little bit longer flicks over our darkest color. And then back to our lightest pink that we're going to drag all the way through the end of each petal now. And you can go back over your other petals that you did in the beginning if you need to, just to blend those out a little bit more. Just long, same motion all the way through the ends of the petals. So now, this is our finished flower. So now we've got that leaf and that flower that are done. And you can see how much dimension they both have and how pretty they are. And they just look so much different than just normal coloring markers. And they just glide so easy. As you can see, they just blend so well. Look how nicely. There's no harsh lines. It's all the colors are blended together. So this is what we've got so far. Okay, so now let's go on to, I guess we can do another, no, let's do one of these little dandelion. No, let's do him. I keep going back and forth with myself. Let's make whatever this is, this guy, let's make him brown. Okay, so I'm going to take, I think this E34, and I'm going to color him all in with this, is what I'm going to do. And I'm just coloring by my heart. I have no plan in this. So I'm just coloring by heart. You want to be continuous in your motions. And you really honestly don't want to, like when you're coloring with a colored pencil or something, you don't want to like color like this and then go section by section like this, because then you're going to have these just dark lines like down your paper. You want it to be smooth. And we're going to go over it again. So even if you do color like that your first time, or your second, or your 500th time, you can go over it with other colors and almost kind of blend it out, probably, depending on how thick your lines are. But my suggestion is you just want to go in continuous motions. And see, you just want to kind of follow. And you want to be a little careful to not overlap too much. Yes, you can overlap a little bit, but if you overlap too much, then your color is going to be darker in that area. That's why you don't want to go like this. Okay. And then we've just got his arm. And then his little foot here. Okay, so this is him just colored in one coat. He just colored in one coat with this E34. And so now what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to do a second coat of this over just this little part on his face and his belly where it would be lighter. And then I'm going to do, I think, a little bit of the dark brown and around his outside. So let's do a second coat of this on his little middle parts. And that's okay if you go over the lines. And then I'm going to go over his belly. So you can see how just smooth and nice these are going on. They're just so easy. So much pigment. They're just great to use to relax. So that's 2 coats of this E34 on his face and his belly. So now I'm going to take my darker brown that I got, this E15, and instead of coloring it in, I think I'm just going to do little like flicks, like hair. So I'm just going to take the tip and I'm just going to flick it. And you know what? If you end up not liking your flicks, you can just color over it. It's not the end of the world. So just flick, flick, flick. Just all over. Big ones, little ones, fat ones, skinny ones. Just let your wrist do work. And so just gonna keep flipping. And so I want to show you while I'm doing this kind of close up how they look. So you might be looking at your picture whenever you are coloring it yourself and going, I hate that. I don't like that. Well, if you just keep going, you might like the end result better than you think you might. And it might turn out better. Plus also, you don't have to stop here. You can add a third color, a fourth color, a 700th color. I mean, you didn't even have to make him brown. You could have made him rainbow if you wanted. I am in several, groups that share coloring pages, and they don't, not everybody follows the rules. You don't have to follow the rules. Again, this is your coloring page. You do what you want. I didn't have to make this leaf green. Maybe we'll make the next leaf blue. So, you do what you want. You could have made him a pink ombre. Again, I don't know what he is. A bear, a badger, I have no idea. Anyways, he didn't have to be brown. You do what you want. So I'm just flick, flick, flick. And yes, this part may get a little time consuming, and you may say, I don't want to sit here forever and do that. But if that's your desired result, then you can do that. Or again, if you get halfway through and you say, I'm tired of this, you can I'm tired of this, Grandpa. I'm sorry, I had to. If you get tired of this, then you can just color it in. Alright, anyways, if you guys think my jokes are funny, please tell me, because I think I'm funny, but, you know, my husband tells me I'm not, but I think I am. So we're just flick, flick, flick. So I'm going to show you. So I got the back of him done. So see, now that it's like more, and especially backed up, that looks better than just those couple that were like right there. See, it looks better. You just have to trust your process. So we're just flicking our way downtown. See, I think I'm funny. Okay, so he got his arm. That is leg. Promise we're almost done with this flicking. Rumpus time is almost over. And just flick, 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 flicking. And just flicking. Really am tired of this, Grandpa. Gosh. This is a lot of flicking. Anyways, okay. So now that we have got this little hair done, now you can see he looks pretty good, doesn't he? He looks cute. I think he looks cute. Okay, so now that my wrist is tired of that flicking, we're gonna move on from him for a minute. So let's go to, you know what? Let's make our leaf blue because we can. Let's use, we're gonna use these 3 blues. Let's do 2 blues instead of 3. Let's do 2. So let's do this B41 and BG15. So I'm gonna make this leaf, we're gonna make him blue. So I'm gonna color him all in with the lighter blue, section by section. Nice and easy. Okay, so that is 1 shade of the light blue. B41 is that color. And now we'll go over it one more time with this light blue. Hi to everybody in the chat. Hi, chat. Hey, Chet. Okay. That is 2 coats of that light blue. And now let's do a 3rd coat on top of it. Just because I want to. Alright, and that's now 3 coats. And I think that looks so smooth, that looks so pretty. You could leave it there if you wanted. It looks so cute. Okay. But let's take this BG15 and let's add a little dimension. Section by section, we're going to flip to the center. Okay, we're going to go back over it with that light blue to blend all together. And there's the top. So there's the top with the dark and light blue, as you can see. Just a little bit more dimension. Okay. Go back with my darker blue. Flick around the ends to the center. Go up against that stem like we did on the other leaf. Flick on the ends. Okay. Back with the lighter blue. And flick, 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 just to blend all together. Go over all your darker blue, feathering it to the center. Going right over top of it so that it all blends together. And now you've got that. So that's where we're at so far with that leaf. And then we're going to go right down the stem. So after this leaf, I think we're going to color one more thing on this page. And I think we should do this flower. Okay, perfect. And flick, flick, flick. Okay. So, got that. And then let's go on this side of the stem. Back to our light blue. And now this is what we've got for our leaf, for our blue leaf over here. So this is what we've got so far. Green leaf, blue leaf, red leaf. Cute. He's so cute. Okay. And if you were just joining or watching, these are the Copic sketch alcohol markers. They have a brush tip on one side. And they have a chisel tip on the other side. Okay, so last thing I think that we're going to color on this page is going to be this flower. And, okay, I've got too many markers right here. I need to put some of them back in my thing so I can see what I need. Let's see here. Okay. I don't need these greens anymore. Okay. So let's make our other flower yellow. Yellow and orange. Let's do a 2-color flower. And let's do these 2 colors. We're going to do Y19 and YR12. Or what we're going to do for this flower right here. Okay. Let's see here. So we're going to start with our lighter. So Y19, or I guess brighter per se. Ooh, that's really bright. I like that. Okay. All right, so here's just one coat of this Y19. Here's one coat of it. It's still wet, still drying a little bit, so. Okay, let's do our second coat over it. Perfect. Okay, there's our second coat. So you can see that looks already a little better. And now, I think what I want to do is I want to do, instead of kind of like this one, I want to kind of like fill in full ones like this. Like just random. Okay. Now, I want to add a little bit more of this. If I do this brown, I'm going to do the same brown that we did on him, but I'm going to do it like yeah, I think. It's kind of like a rustic flower. I don't know. Why not? It's, I mean, sunflowers aren't all the same color, right? sometimes they got a suntan. And my sunflower got a suntan. Cute. So here's our picture so far. We have to color our stems in for our flowers. Let's do YG45. Did we do that? I think we used this one. Either way, we're going to use this one for our stems. So I'm just going to color in my stem. And then color in this one. Okay. So now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this same green and I'm just going to kind of go over like that to make the bottom just a little bit darker. And then right here at the top, just kind of flick it down. So see, you can see that stem right there, and it's darker at the top and darker at the bottom, and then just a little lighter in the center right there. And as opposed to this one, this stem, that's all the same color. So see the difference in that stem versus that stem? I just dropped my lid right here. And that stem has dimension, and that one we're gonna add. Okay. So again, same thing, I'm going to take this green from the bottom, just kind of flick it up through the stem. You could also, you know, kind of break it. So do the bottom, do the top, and then you could do a little bit in the middle even. And have it just kind of broken like that. See? So you can have it dark at the top, middle, and bottom. So now what we're going to do, and the last thing that we're going to do before we're done today, is I'm going to take my white Jelly Roll pen, and I'm just going to add a little bit of like just highlights to it per se. So you can just kind of take it along his ear. You can take it, you know, maybe in the center of this little flower. You can do some of your petals. And you just go as your heart desires. You don't have to, you can do whatever you want. So like I did some on the bottom, and I'm going to do some of these at the top. And do whatever you want. I take a line across his head. You could, you know, add some designs to your leaves. You could even add like a full design to your leaf or some more. You could even take, if you wanted your leaves to be maybe even a little bit more like veiny, you could take a black pen. And this is actually the Copic multi-liner pen. So you can see it's a really, really fine tip. So it's really good for details. And you can take this even and maybe, you know, add some more veins to your leaves if you wanted. And just get a little bit more detail that way. Now, these aren't obviously great because I'm not trying that hard, but you can see how skinny those lines can get. And you can just, you know, add some detail. You could, you know, maybe kind of do it like that if you wanted for those kind of leafy effects. So, see, you could add some just details with some pens. I know a lot of people like to go over with colored pencils and add some more dimension or details even. There's lots of things that you can do with just the alcohol markers, or you can add other mediums and go over them as well. But for now, this is going to be our final picture for now. And so I think he's pretty cute with his little leaves and his flowers. I hope you guys enjoyed, and please subscribe or follow so that you get notified when I go live again, so that you guys can take tips on learning and color with me next time. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.